Chosen one, do not move your finger. Do not scroll past this message today. Tomorrow is entirely too late. This specific moment on your screen is not random. It is not the result of an algorithm guessing what you want to see. Heaven has literally bent the rules of time to place this urgent warning directly in your path. A massive shift is happening right now, and if you ignore this divine appointment, you will miss the exact alignment meant to break your cycle of debt. Stay with me for just a few minutes. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to stop the spiritual bleeding that has drained your energy for months. Let us slow down right here. Stop whatever you are doing. Unclench your jaw. Let your heavy shoulders fall down. Take one slow breath in and let it out. I need you to pause and just listen to my voice for a moment. The panic you feel in your chest right now is not your final destination. You are safe here. I saw you last night. I watched you sitting on the edge of your bed while the whole house was quiet. You were staring at nothing in the dark. You felt the crushing weight of bills and endless responsibilities pressing down on your lungs. You swallowed your tears because you had to be strong for everyone else. No one sees how close you are to completely breaking. They see your smile. They hear your reassuring words when you tell them everything will be fine. But I see the exhaustion behind your eyes. I see how your hands shake slightly when you look at your bank account. You are carrying a load that is too heavy. You feel a deep fog in your mind lately. It is a quiet heaviness that follows you from the moment you wake up. You think you are just tired from working so hard, but this is not normal physical fatigue. This is the profound exhaustion of a soul that has been fighting an invisible war for entirely too long. You have prayed so many times for a simple break. You have cried out for just 1 week of peace without a new crisis arriving at your door. And when silence was the only answer you received, a terrible thought began to whisper in your mind. You started to wonder if you did something wrong to deserve this struggle. You are the tired caregiver. You are the one everyone runs to when their world falls apart. You give them your time and your energy and your last dollar. But when you are standing in the dark with your own fears, the room is empty. You feel completely abandoned in your hardest moments while you fix everyone else. Feel the tension sitting in the back of your neck right now. Notice how shallow your breathing has become as you listen to this. Your nervous system has been stuck in survival mode for so long that your body forgot how peace actually feels. You are constantly bracing for the next piece of bad news to drop. I know the exact numbers that keep you awake. I see the calculations running through your mind while you try to figure out how to survive another month. You feel like you are sinking in a vast ocean of debt, and every time you manage to get your head above the water, another unexpected expense pulls you back down. You are not crazy for feeling this overwhelmed. Your body is reacting to a massive spiritual compression. You have been waiting for your miracle with a shattered heart. You have tried to keep your faith strong while your physical reality looks like an absolute wasteland. That kind of waiting physically hurts your chest. But I want to speak directly to that pain right now. I want to look right into that hidden sorrow you never talk about with anyone. You thought your current suffering was a sign of my absence. You believed that I walked away from you because you were not praying hard enough. That is a devastating lie from the dark. There is a specific reason why your body feels so heavy today. There is a reason why everything feels like it is falling apart right before the finish line. Do not let the distraction of this world pull your eyes away from what I am about to reveal. Heaven is drawing a line in the sand over your life today. I see the way you walk through your days. You carry a heavy silence wrapped around your heart. The world thinks you are doing just fine, but I know the absolute truth about your quiet moments. When you close the door to your room, the heavy mask finally slips off your tired face. You let yourself feel the crushing weight of it all. You have become a master of hiding your pain. You speak words of comfort to those who are hurting. You pour out your energy to ensure everyone else feels safe and secure. And yet when your own spirit is bleeding out on the floor, nobody seems to notice. You swallow your panic and smile. You refuse to let them see you break. Let us talk about those long nights. The darkness in your bedroom feels thicker lately. You stare at the ceiling while your mind races through a maze of unpaid bills. The numbers float in front of your eyes like a terrible nightmare you cannot escape. You try to calculate a way out of the financial trap, but the math never works in your favor. You feel a cold knot of anxiety in your stomach. It is a physical ache that gnaws at you every single morning. You wonder how you will afford the basic things your family needs to survive. The fear of failure is a heavy stone sitting right on your chest. You sacrifice your own basic desires, but the mountain of debt just keeps growing larger every single month. I saw you crying alone last Tuesday. You thought nobody was watching you in that dark room. You covered your mouth so the sound of your sobbing would not wake up the house. You let the tears fall hot and fast down your face. You felt completely abandoned by heaven and earth in that exact moment. You asked me why I left you alone in the storm. My precious child, I have never left your side. The silence you feel is not an empty void of abandonment. It is the holy space where I am doing my deepest work in you. But your physical body is exhausted from sustaining this level of faith. Your shoulders ache constantly. Your lower back holds the tension of 1,000 unspoken worries. You give everything you have to people who do not appreciate it. You are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. That is a massive spiritual burden to carry in a fragile human body. You step in to fix the broken pieces when others carelessly drop them. You heal their wounds. You dry their tears. But who is supposed to comfort you? The sheer loneliness of your journey is heartbreaking. You sit in crowded rooms and feel entirely disconnected from the people laughing around you. They do not understand the spiritual weight you carry on your shoulders. They cannot see the fierce battles you fight in the unseen realm every day. You are walking a highly specialized path. It requires deep isolation. Do you feel the fatigue deep in your bones right now? That is not a sign of spiritual weakness. It is the physiological cost of holding the line against total darkness. You are using every ounce of your energy just to survive the day. By the time evening comes, your mind is a complete fog of exhaustion. You just want to lay down and disappear. I hear the silent prayers you pray when you are out of words. Sometimes your prayer is just a heavy sigh escaping your lips. Sometimes it is just a single tear dropping onto your pillow. I collect every single one of those tears. They are holy offerings on my altar. The world demands you to be loud and strong, but I honor your quiet vulnerability. You are so tired of being the strong one for everybody. You desperately want someone to hold you and tell you that everything will be provided for. The financial drought has parched your spirit and made you cynical. You open your mail with trembling hands. You dread the sound of the phone ringing. Every notification feels like another urgent threat to your peace. Let me speak directly to that financial terror right now. You are not supposed to live in this constant state of lack and begging. The enemy wants you to believe this poverty is your permanent identity. He wants you to think you are a failure who cannot provide for your own needs. But he is entirely terrified of the destiny written over your life. You have asked me a painful question recently. You asked why heaven went completely silent when you needed help the most. You felt the cold draft of isolation sweep through your spirit, and you assumed that my silence meant I was angry with your mistakes because you thought I was punishing you for lacking faith. But you must lay down that heavy guilt today. My silence is never a form of rejection. I need you to understand the spiritual architecture of your current delay. When a king is preparing a massive inheritance for his child, the vault must be secured first. I have not been ignoring your desperate cries. I have been aggressively clearing out the hidden traps from your future while you were busy crying over closed doors. The silence was my fierce protection over your destiny. You have blamed yourself for the doors that slammed shut in your face. You analyzed every word you prayed to see if you said something wrong. You carried a toxic shame that the enemy planted in your mind. He wanted you to believe you ruined your own blessings because he is entirely terrified of your future. But you cannot ruin what I have firmly ordained just by being a fragile human. I closed those doors because there were toxic people waiting on the other side. They were preparing to drain the wealth I am about to hand you. If I gave you the miracle last year, those parasites would have stolen your peace. I had to create a season of deep isolation to permanently remove their access to your life. Your loneliness was actually a divine quarantine. The chosen one does not walk an easy path. Your spirit requires a completely different level of preparation than ordinary people. They get their quick rewards because their calling is small and shallow. But you are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You are carrying the heavy mandate to end generational poverty and spiritual famine. A building meant to stand for centuries must have a massive foundation dug in the dark. The delay you are suffering through is the digging of that deep foundation. I am pulling up the roots of trauma that your ancestors planted. I am breaking the financial curses that have kept your family enslaved for decades while you stand in the quiet waiting room. This process requires time and absolute holy silence. While you were crying on your bed, my angels were fighting ruthless battles on your behalf. The spiritual warfare surrounding your finances is more intense than you can comprehend. The enemy launched a massive attack to delay your harvest. He threw obstacles in your path to make you surrender and walk away from the altar. But I blocked his fatal blows before they ever reached you. You must stop acting like a beggar who is desperate for crumbs. You keep pleading for me to just fix your current emergency so you can survive the week. I am not interested in giving you temporary survival money. I am dismantling the entire system of lack that has suffocated your life. I am preparing you to manage substantial wealth without losing your pure heart. Stand up today and wipe the tears of defeat off your face. Breathe out that heavy guilt you have been dragging around for months. Your unanswered prayers were not a rejection of your worth. They were a divine redirection toward a much bigger inheritance. The waiting season was fierce and painful, but it has forged you into an unstoppable weapon of light. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are forgotten. I have numbered every hair on your head and counted every sigh of your heart. The silence is finally coming to an end. The heavy doors that trapped you are beginning to unlock from the inside. Hold that sentence. Let it land deeply in your spirit before we move forward. You wake up every morning and feel like you never slept at all. A profound heaviness pins your body to the mattress. You try to force yourself out of bed to start another demanding day, but your physical energy is completely drained before you even pour a cup of coffee. You feel a strange disconnect between your physical body and your spirit right now. Lately, you have been dealing with a dense fog in your mind. You walk into rooms and completely forget why you went in there. You struggle to remember simple words during basic conversations, and this sudden forgetfulness deeply frustrates your perfectionist heart. You worry that you are losing your sharp edge because you cannot seem to focus on anything anymore. This mental fog is not a sign of early aging. It is not a random medical mystery that you need to fear. You are experiencing the severe physiological weight of carrying a massive spiritual calling in a fragile human body. Your nervous system is currently enduring an unprecedented level of pressure. The spiritual atmosphere around you is incredibly thick and heavy. Your brain is struggling to process the massive shifts happening in the unseen realm. The constant stress of waiting for your financial breakthrough has overloaded your senses. You have lived in pure survival mode for way too long, and because your mind is constantly bracing for the next disaster, it has shut down non-essential functions to protect you. Sometimes your heart races for absolutely no logical reason. You sit down to rest and suddenly feel a wave of intense anxiety wash over your chest. You think you are having a panic attack about your unpaid bills, but that sudden chest tightness is actually intense spiritual warfare. Your physical body is reacting to the invisible battles fighting for your future. Pause briefly right where you are. Resist the urge to rush through this exact moment. Unclench your jaw right now. Let your tight shoulders drop completely away from your ears. Take one deep and slow breath in. Exhale the heavy anxiety out of your lungs. You need to give your physical body absolute permission to feel safe in my presence today. You must stop calling yourself lazy or unmotivated. You beat yourself up constantly because you cannot work as fast as you did last year. You look at your endless list of responsibilities and feel paralyzed by the sheer volume of tasks. But demanding perfection from a deeply exhausted vessel is cruel, and I do not require you to perform like a machine today. Ordinary people do not understand the physical cost of being a cycle breaker. Every time you stand in the gap for your family, your physical body absorbs the shock waves of that spiritual collision. You carry the grief of your ancestors in your very bones. That is why your lower back constantly aches, and that is why your neck feels tight and rigid every evening. Loud noises suddenly irritate you much more than they used to. You find yourself retreating to dark and quiet rooms, just to escape the overwhelming stimulation of the loud world. You are not becoming bitter or antisocial. Your spiritual senses have been highly activated for the upcoming harvest season, so your physical vessel simply requires extra silence to calibrate. Do not let anyone minimize the intense physical reality of your spiritual journey. They tell you to just drink more water and get more sleep, but no amount of physical rest can cure a deep spiritual fatigue. Only the profound peace of my presence can restore your shattered nervous system. You are enduring the heavy compression of a diamond being formed in the dark. The heavy exhaustion I just described is actually a clear prophetic sign. It means you have reached the absolute limit of your human strength. You have absolutely nothing left to give. And that is exactly where my miraculous intervention always begins, because heaven steps in when you can no longer carry the mountain alone. The dense fog is finally about to lift. You carry a massive burden of guilt that does not belong to you. You constantly replay past mistakes in your mind, and you think your financial drought is a punishment for your failures. But I am lifting that heavy condemnation off your shoulders today. You must stop believing the terrible lie that you are disqualified from the harvest. The endless delays you have faced are not the result of your weak faith. You have prayed with a very sincere and open heart. You have loved people purely even when they betrayed your trust and walked away. The real reason you are facing such brutal resistance has nothing to do with your personal flaws or past mistakes. The enemy did not attack your finances because you are weak. He attacked you because he is absolutely terrified of your massive potential. You are the cycle breaker of your entire family bloodline. When you step into your financial authority, you will fund the kingdom of light with extraordinary generosity. You will pull your family out of poverty, and the adversary knows his dark kingdom will suffer a massive blow. That is exactly why the attacks against you have been so personal and relentless. He sent toxic people to drain your daily energy while you were desperately trying to heal your spiritual wounds. He created sudden financial emergencies just to keep your tired eyes completely focused on your empty bank account. He wanted to break your human spirit. He tried to stop you before you crossed the threshold into your promised season. The darkness desperately needed you to feel an intense shame. The enemy whispered that you were a failure every time a plan fell apart. He wanted you to look at your broken dreams and cry in defeat. He wanted you to believe that heaven had completely rejected you because of your imperfections. Because if he keeps you drowning in guilt, you will never stand up and claim your rightful inheritance. Ordinary thieves never try to rob completely empty houses. The spiritual warfare surrounding your life is intense because the treasure inside of you is incredibly valuable. Your prophetic destiny is a massive threat to the system of lack. It has enslaved your family for decades without any resistance. You are standing in the crosshairs of the enemy today because you hold the key to absolute freedom. Listen closely now, for I speak with a very heavy weight. Do not skim the next sentence. The spiritual adversary is in a state of absolute panic right now. He threw everything he had at your mind and your money, but you still refused to completely break under the pressure. You stumbled and cried in the dark room, but you never walked away from my holy altar. That resilience makes you incredibly dangerous to the forces of darkness. You survived the silent season of isolation without losing your pure and gentle heart. You kept your pure faith alive while your physical reality looked like a total disaster. The enemy completely failed to destroy your spirit, and now his time to torment your financial life has officially expired today. I am issuing a holy restraining order against the devourer of your resources. The spirits of poverty and confusion have no legal right to touch your harvest anymore. I am washing away every stain of false guilt that clouded your tired mind. You are completely clean. You are highly worthy to receive the massive blessing that is moving toward you right now. Drop the false identity of a punished sinner today. You are the chosen one. Your heavy scars are actually badges of profound honor in the spiritual realm. The intense battles you survived were just the training ground for your upcoming reign. You are stepping out of the wilderness as a seasoned warrior who knows exactly how to defeat the shadows. Stop fighting battles that I have already won for you. The heavy burden of self-blame must burn away. My eternal truth will set your mind completely free today. You are standing right at the edge of a massive turnaround. Stay with me right here. The spiritual compression is about to release, and I need you completely focused for what comes next. You feel like you are standing in the middle of a massive storm today. The pressure surrounding your life has reached an absolute boiling point. Everything feels so incredibly fragile right now. You fix one specific problem, and 3 more suddenly break down in front of you without warning. The brutal financial attacks are coming faster than you can even catch your breath. It feels like the universe is actively trying to completely crush you. You look at the rising bills and the unexpected expenses piling up on your kitchen table every morning. You want to throw your hands up and surrender to the heavy darkness. You honestly think that you have reached the absolute end of your long road. But your current reality is not breaking apart. Your life is actually breaking wide open for a miracle. You are standing directly on the sacred threshold of your massive breakthrough. The intense chaos you are experiencing right now is the violent friction of 2 powerful seasons colliding. The old season of poverty is aggressively fighting to keep you trapped in its heavy chains, but the new season of harvest is forcing its way in. The spiritual enemy knows he has lost the long war. He knows your financial deliverance has already been dispatched from the heavenly throne room. So he is throwing a violent temper tantrum at the very edge of your finish line. He wants to create a sudden panic that forces you to abandon your holy post. He is hoping you will walk away from the altar right before the fire falls. You cannot afford to be a passive observer while your destiny is being decided. You must actively stand your ground against the heavy pressure today. Gently press the like button as your solid yes to heaven. Write 777 in the comments to seal this prophetic word and declare perfect provision over your house. Do not let the dark enemy steal your powerful voice. The air around you is incredibly thick with high anticipation right now. This is the ultimate tipping point of your entire earthly journey. The heavy doors of the heavenly vault are currently unlocking in the unseen realm, and the loud noise of your current crisis is just a cheap distraction to make you look away. You are literally inches away from the massive harvest you cried for. This is exactly where many chosen ones tragically turn back and surrender. They feel the intense ache in their chest and they mistakenly call it a permanent failure. They look at the towering walls of heavy debt and decide that the giant is simply too big to defeat. But you are not going to shrink back into the cold shadows today. You have endured too much pain to give up at the final door. Think about the natural process of new life arriving. A mother feels the most excruciating pain right before the child is fully born. The physical pressure becomes completely unbearable right before the beautiful release finally happens. Your spirit is currently in the final heavy stages of spiritual labor. The financial abundance you have carried in your spirit is ready to manifest. You must hold your ground with absolute holy defiance today. Do not let a single doubt cross your tired mind in this critical hour. The spiritual compression is reaching its maximum absolute limit, and the heavy dam is about to completely break wide open. You are standing right at the dividing line between your painful history and your wealthy future. Look directly at the massive storm raging around you and completely refuse to blink. You are the faithful cycle breaker who will permanently rewrite the story of your family. The heavy burden of daily survival is officially falling off your tired shoulders right now. The threshold is completely resolving in your favor, and I need you to open your heart extremely wide for what is coming next. The heavy threshold is finally breaking right under your feet. The fierce winds of the long storm are suddenly dropping into an absolute holy silence. You have stood outside the closed door for so many years. You watched other people receive their blessings while you waited quietly in the cold dark. But your waiting season officially ends today. There is a massive identity shift that must happen right now. You must completely drop the heavy mindset of a desperate beggar. You have spent the last 5 years praying from a place of pure survival. You constantly ask me to just give you enough crumbs to pay the bills. That toxic mindset of poverty must die today. A poor petitioner stands at the counter and desperately bargains. They plead for a tiny piece of bread just to make it through the night. But an heir walks confidently through the front doors of the estate and simply receives what belongs to them. You are not a petitioner anymore. You are the rightful heir to a massive kingdom. You must stop trying to negotiate with heaven. You constantly promise to work harder and sacrifice more just so I might notice your pain. I do not need your exhausted labor to release your miracle. I need your total surrender. Stop acting like an unpaid slave in your own father's house. The transactional religion that taught you to grovel is entirely fake. You cannot walk into a season of massive wealth while carrying the heavy mindset of a victim. The clothes of a survivor will absolutely not fit a reigning king. You must intentionally drop the dirty rags of your painful history today. Stand up right now and put on the heavy mantle of absolute authority. The enemy is watching your next move. Your massive financial breakthrough is already fully authorized in the spiritual realm. The inheritance has been legally deeded to your exact name. But there is one specific final key you are currently missing to unlock the vault. This is a profound secret the enemy desperately hoped you would never learn in your lifetime. He wanted you to keep crying on the cold floor every night. He desperately needed you to keep begging for what already belongs to your bloodline, because begging keeps you weak and distracted from your true power. As long as you feel like a victim, you will never step up to rule your territory. He weaponized your humility to keep you poor. But I am shattering that dark illusion right now. You are stepping out of the wilderness as a highly seasoned warrior. You survived the fire without losing your pure heart, and that makes you incredibly dangerous to the forces of darkness. The heavy compression in your chest is about to release completely. Your lungs will finally breathe pure air. You thought your gentle nature made you a weak target for the wolves. You believed that because you do not fight back with anger, you were somehow losing the battle. That is a massive lie. Your holy silence is actually a weapon of mass destruction in the spirit realm. The enemy absolutely hates your quiet trust because he cannot manipulate what he cannot disturb. You have won the war by simply standing still. Square your tired shoulders right now and lift your head. Wipe the tears of defeat off your face because the mourning period is over. You are not a victim of a broken economy or unfair circumstances. You are a holy vessel, chosen to hold a shocking level of divine abundance. The vault is standing right in front of you. Do not let fear whisper that this is too good to be true. Heaven does not deal in tiny crumbs or temporary relief checks. I am preparing to flood your life with a permanent provision that will outlast your grandchildren. The threshold is finally resolving. Get ready to turn the final key in the heavy lock. This is the ultimate transition point of your entire existence on earth. You are leaving the valley of dry bones and stepping into the fertile promised land. The heavy armor you wore for the last 10 years is no longer required. You can finally put down your heavy sword. The battle for your peace is officially over. You are the rightful heir to the kingdom. The heavy doors of the eternal vault are completely wide open today. The long season of begging for tiny scraps is permanently finished. You stepped into this exact moment feeling like an exhausted survivor, but you are walking out of this holy sanctuary as a reigning king. Your entire family bloodline is completely rewritten right now. I am breaking every single chain of financial slavery that kept your family in the dark. The spirit of poverty has lost its grip on your life forever. You do not have to struggle for every single dollar anymore. The massive wealth transfer you have waited for is actively rushing toward your house right now, and this permanent river of provision will absolutely never run dry. You thought the secret key to this massive vault was working harder and sacrificing your health. But the actual key was your profound holy silence. You stopped screaming at the closed doors, and you completely stopped trying to prove your worth to people who constantly misunderstood your pure heart. In that quiet surrender, you finally became the perfect vessel to hold this divine wealth. Heaven does not drop $1 million into the hands of a terrified victim. Heaven hands massive resources to a seasoned warrior who knows exactly who they are. You finally know your true identity today. You are the chosen one who survived the fiercest fire the enemy could ever invent. And because you did not break under the heavy compression, you get to manage the massive harvest of this new season. The heavy anxiety that gripped your chest 10 minutes ago has been completely washed away by my peace. You can feel a profound lightness in your spirit right now. That is the exact feeling of heavy chains falling directly off your tired shoulders. The spiritual warfare over your bank account is officially over today because you have crossed the sacred threshold and the massive enemy has been utterly defeated. You came into this sanctuary feeling completely broken and afraid of tomorrow because you were terrified that my long silence meant I was punishing you. Now the heavy fog has lifted and you know the absolute truth. You are the beloved heir, and the heavenly vault is completely open for you. The panic is gone. A deep and holy calm has settled right into your weary bones. You are no longer a victim standing at the mercy of a broken economy. You have total authority over the resources of this earth. The financial drought is entirely over, and the massive rain of abundance is already hitting the dry ground of your life today. Do not look back at the years you lost in the wilderness. I am restoring every single thing the locusts destroyed while you were waiting in the dark. If this safe sanctuary has bound up your deep wounds today, I invite you to make a physical decree. Take a quiet moment to intentionally honor this holy altar. You are stepping into a massive harvest season. And every seasoned farmer knows that you must plant a seed to establish a deep root in the new ground. This is not a desperate plea for survival, but rather the confident action of a wealthy heir. Kindly plant a financial seed through the super thanks button below as your signed acknowledgement, and let your physical donation be the undeniable proof that you completely trust the harvest is coming. Do this from a place of pure, entitled gratitude and deep peace. You are sealing your massive inheritance right now. Heaven is actively watching your faith move. Do not let the enemy make you second-guess this profound holy moment. When you give from a place of total victory, you break the final illusion of lack in your mind, and you finally destroy the heavy chains of fear. The blessing is permanently yours. Step fully into your massive authority today. The cycle of poverty is completely dead, and the glorious reign of the cycle breaker has officially begun in your life. Now let the extreme intensity of this holy moment completely settle around you. The heavy lifting of the spirit is finally done. You have carried a massive spiritual weight throughout this entire message. I need you to pause exactly where you are sitting right now. Do not rush back into the loud noise of your busy day. Put your hand gently over your tired chest. Unclench your tight jaw right now. Let your rigid shoulders fall completely away from your ears. Take one very long and slow breath in. Hold that breath for just a single second. Now exhale all the lingering anxiety completely out of your tired lungs. Feel the invisible heavy armor physically falling off your back. You do not need to wear those heavy metal plates of protection anymore. Your fragile nervous system has been running on pure adrenaline for so many years. You were constantly bracing for the next unpredictable disaster to strike your home. But you are completely safe in this holy sanctuary today. Look around the quiet physical space you are in right now. Nothing is actively attacking you. The violent storm has officially passed over your roof. The dark clouds are finally breaking apart. Allow this profound heavenly peace to wash over your entire physical body. Notice how your breathing has naturally become much slower and significantly deeper. The tight knot of deep fear in your stomach is completely dissolving into pure light. This is the exact beautiful feeling of absolute holy surrender. You are no longer fighting a desperate battle for your basic survival. You are simply resting in my secure arms. You do not have to explain your gentle actions to anyone today. You do not have to send that long message to desperately prove your pure innocence. The exhausting burden of defending your good heart is officially lifted from your tired shoulders. Let the confused people think whatever they want to think about you. Heaven already knows the absolute truth, and my perfect vindication simply requires your holy silence. A wounded survivor constantly looks over their shoulder for hidden enemies, but a loved heir rests perfectly peacefully in the exact center of their secure fortress. You are the rightful chosen heir. You can finally close your heavy eyes without calculating impossible bills in the dark. The massive provision we just unlocked is already flowing quietly into your physical reality. You have absolutely nothing left to figure out. The heavy fog that severely clouded your tired mind is completely gone now. Your flowing thoughts are crystal clear and perfectly aligned with my divine will. You feel a very gentle warmth spreading slowly through your chest. That is the exact physical manifestation of my Holy Spirit sealing your massive deliverance. The terrible restless nights of tossing and turning are permanently over. Tonight you will sleep exactly like a deeply loved child. Stay completely immersed in this quiet frequency for just a little while longer. Do not let the frantic loud energy of the outside world pull you violently back into fear. You have bravely crossed the massive spiritual threshold. The cold wilderness is completely behind you right now. You are standing barefoot on the soft grass of your promised land. Every single step you take from this exact moment forward is divinely protected. Take one more very deep and slow breath with me right now. Inhale the sweet, fresh fragrance of your beautifully new season. Exhale all the bitter ashes of your deeply painful history. You are entirely clean and completely restored by my grace. The prophetic mantle of the cycle breaker is perfectly secure on your shoulders, but it no longer feels like a crushing weight. It simply feels like a soft garment woven from pure heavenly light. Let the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat constantly remind you of my absolute presence. I am closer to you than your very next physical breath. You have successfully survived the absolute worst days of your entire earthly life. The beautiful harvest is finally here. The glorious table is perfectly prepared for you right in the presence of your completely defeated enemies. Just sit down and quietly enjoy the massive feast. You are finally home. The heavy season of deep isolation is finally breaking off your life right now. You have received the massive provision and the profound peace of heaven. But the divine work is not completely finished just yet, because heaven always moves powerfully through human connection. You are holding a massive light in your hands today. We must use this profound gift to help others. There is a strict spiritual law of multiplication that you must activate. A seed simply cannot multiply if you keep it hidden safely in your own pocket. You must cast it out into the fertile ground. The massive blessing we just unlocked requires a physical action to permanently seal its power, and you have a very specific holy assignment right now. Think about the people sitting quietly in your phone contacts today. There is someone in your circle who is currently staring at their screen in total despair. They are terrified of tomorrow and the impossible bills they cannot pay. They are crying those exact same silent tears you cried last week while they wait for a miracle. They feel completely abandoned by the world right now. You have the direct power to be their divine rescue tonight. You can physically deliver the exact miracle they are desperately begging heaven to send. I need you to pass this specific message directly to them. Share this exact word with that exhausted survivor right now, so they can finally find their peace. You can literally save a precious soul tonight. When you share this prophetic word with a broken friend, you set the powerful law of heavenly multiplication into motion. The resources you help unlock for them will automatically multiply your own harvest. That is the exact beautiful mathematics of the kingdom. You give a tiny spark, and heaven returns a roaring fire. Your simple act of kindness will trigger a massive wave of absolute abundance for your own family. But you must also protect your own spiritual connection from the dark adversary. The enemy is absolutely furious that you escaped his heavy chains today. He will actively try to block tomorrow's prophetic word from ever reaching your feed because he wants you to remain blind. He wants you to forget this profound peace. He desperately hopes you will slip back into your old frantic panic. Do not let the dark thief steal your daily bread. You must physically build a protective wall around this holy sanctuary today. Subscribe to this channel right now so the enemy cannot hide my voice from you in the future. This is your active covenant to keep the spiritual pipeline completely open. Protect your daily manna and secure your blessings today. You are stepping out of the dark wilderness and taking your rightful place. You are no longer just a tired caregiver who constantly bleeds for everyone else. You are a powerful light bearer carrying the massive fire of the Holy Spirit while the world waits for your unique frequency. The world desperately needs the exact light you carry. Stand very tall and confident in that beautiful divine truth. Leave the word Amen below as the final stroke of a binding signature. Let that simple comment be your physical decree that the massive vault is officially yours. You have completely survived the brutal formation season without losing your heart. You did not break when the heavy hammer fell on your life, and the beautiful diamond is finally ready to shine brightly. Walk out of this safe sanctuary with your head held incredibly high. The heavy generational cycle of debt and poverty is permanently broken over your bloodline. You are stepping directly into the most abundant season of your entire human life. Go forward in absolute holy peace and manage your massive wealth wisely because the giant has finally fallen. The intense spiritual battle for your future is completely won. Do not look backward at the heavy ruins of your painful past anymore. The old version of you who constantly begged for tiny scraps is completely dead. You are moving forward with the undeniable favor of the highest king resting heavily on your shoulders. Let every single step you take from now on be extremely deliberate. Walk with the pure confidence of a true cycle breaker. I will meet you right back here in this exact holy space tomorrow. We have so much more glorious ground to conquer together in this new harvest season. Keep your beautiful heart completely open to the sudden miracles that will find you today, and never forget who you truly are. You are deeply loved and fiercely protected by the highest court of heaven. Rest well, my precious and incredibly powerful heir.